Please stand for the Tamil Taiwal. The chief guest and resource person of this evening, Mrs. Mary Kennedy, her husband, Mr. Kennedy, our Secretary General, Shankar Marimuthu, all our executive members, our Vice President, Suresh, Joint Secretary, Norton, and all our executive members, and all those who have come here today to benefit by this talk on investment visa EB-5. I think that because of the program schedules that are going on in this town, many people have not come here, but they are all logged in live. Our program is being, from now onwards, our chamber is always giving our program live over YouTube. It is already there on live. I don't know how many viewers are viewing it, it will be there. So whatever our resource person tells us, if you want, you can go back to YouTube on the AACC channel and you will be able to get all the information that you have on EB-5 investment visa. The main thing that I would like to say, the world is becoming a global village. Communication, geographical boundaries are getting dissolved. Cultural thing is it's in a crucible, it's like in a melting pot. You have some certain salts here which are creating problems, but they'll all melt together to form a universal whole, which is going to be synergistic and great in future. We shouldn't be left behind. And the program, we should know what is happening in the world. We should know what's happening in other countries. We should know what are the opportunities that are given for our citizens to go there. What opportunities are given for them to come here. So, I found that most eminently suited to inform the people of the city and in India about the EB-5 investment visa, what it is, how you can benefit by it, what is the purpose of it, and how basically there will be an interface between you and the government of the United States. So, with these few words, and I'm according a very, very hearty welcome to Mrs. Mary Kennedy. Thank you for accepting our invitation, being with us today to be as a resource person. And with that, I hand over the thing to our member, Mr. Ramesh, to introduce our chief guest. Thank you.
Good evening, one and all. We welcome everyone for this participation to this useful program, which is going to be given by our Mary Kennedy. So far, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Mary Kennedy. Mrs. Mary currently runs her own successful litigation law firm, law offices of Mary Kennedy, LLC, and deals with a multitude of the client base. She is a resident of the United States for the last 22 years and currently resides in the suburb of Chicago. She specializes in a variety of different immigration legal cases and is very respected in her field. especially prominent among the Tamil community in the USA. Mrs. Mary is a recipient of the US President Award Voluntary Services, which is considered one of the most prestigious national recognition by the United States of America, and you must serve 516 or more hours to qualify for the award. A heart and passion to go to help the families who are stranded in the unfortunate situation of the losing a husband, from the emotional to all possible legal supports in any means possible. Moreover, she has been awarded Woman Achievers Award by the FETMA on July 4, 2022. With this note, I welcome you once again for this expression. And moreover, she is the wife of my friend Mr. Kennedy. We both worked together during 1998 in Vedanta Sterling, and after that he even started his own career there at Redcross. And I myself continued here. Thank you, Kennedy, for coming over here.
Before we go into the main program, we would like to record once again our pleasure of having Mrs. Mary Kennedy with us, and as a token of love and appreciation from our chamber, I now request our Secretary General, Mr. Shankar Marimuthu, to hand over the bouquet to Mrs. Mary Kennedy. I request our Vice President, Mr. Suresh, to adorn Mrs. Mary Kennedy with a ponade, followed by our Joint Secretary, Mr. Norton, who will also adorn our Chief Guest with a ponade. And for what, as a token of love, as also a token of remembrance of this day, and to serve as a memory for posterity, on behalf of the chamber, we are presenting her with a memento. Over now to Mrs. Mary Kennedy for the keynote address on EB-5 investment visa.
Vanakkam ellarkum. Good evening, everyone. I'm very glad and humbled to be one among you to present the EB-5 investment visa. Before that, I just want to let you know, I'm one among you, even my family. Every year we never miss to visit Thoothukudi or Chennai. Even the last time when we were here after COVID, both my adult children were over here. And on the day that we have to leave to US, அவங்க கிளம்பும்போது நாங்கள் அந்த டெஸ்ட் எடுக்கிறதுக்காக கோவிட் டெஸ்ட் அப்போ இருந்தது, அப்போ எடுக்கிறதுக்காக போகும்போது வரும்போது நாங்கள் கொஞ்சம் முன்னாடி வந்தோம். They had only 2 weeks of time to be over here. அப்புறம் அவங்க கிளம்பும்போது both my, like Steve and Sandra were there, and then we were going to take the test. அங்கே போகும்போது my daughter was saying, Steve, what if it gets positive? ஏன்னா எங்கெங்கேயோ போயிட்டு வந்துட்டு இருந்தோம். My son was saying, இருந்தா பரவாயில்ல, இன்னும் 2 வாரம் இங்கே இருந்து போகலாம் அப்படின்னு. So we love India, we love Thoothukudi, we love Chennai. So even I'm very fortunate to say that it's not about me. நாங்கள் இங்கே வளர்ந்தோம் பண்ணோம். So it's not a very good surprise for us to say that. But our children who were raised up over there, we are very grateful and fortunate. They love the place where we are in. So on the other, we are one among you. That's what I want to say that. And with that, I'll just go into this details of the EB-5 visa. We have a small slideshow. So now the present பண்ணிட்டு, if at all you have any questions or anything, definitely I can address it. And I said, this cannot be said as a legal, for you as a legal benefit for you. It's only an advisory program. Just want to put the disclaimer before that. So I don't think I could see that actually. பார்க்க முடியல எனக்கு.
Otherwise, ரொம்ப ட்ரிப் பண்ணிங்கன்னா அப்புறம் ஆடியன்ஸ் தெரியும்.
இல்லை ஐ திங்க் ப்ராஜெக்ட் மட்டும் லைட் எடுத்துருக்கோம் கரெக்டாக.
So what is the EB5 visa, Abhina? So one thing I feel, the awareness among the, I can't generalize it, but Tamil community la வந்து ரொம்பவே கம்மியா இருக்குன்ற மாதிரி I feel it. So one of the most used program, but it's by national, green card is the final step is the green card. So நிறைய யூஸ் பண்றவங்க வந்து Chinese are the first one who are using this EB5 program. And the next comes the Indian nationals. On the Indian national, the ratio, the probability is very less when it comes to from people from Tamil Nadu who are ready to invest for it. So the most used is by Andhra Pradesh. So it doesn't matter, whether we are going to use it or not. It makes for me to make you aware of what is the benefits in future. யாருக்காவது அது யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிறது மட்டும்தான் என்னோட இன்டென்ஷன். பிகாஸ் we have other EB5 is very less for us to work on it. எங்களோட மற்ற criteria of practice I do is with the business immigration, which is more of an H1B sperm. அதுதான் எங்களோட routine work where we do it. But EB5 is a very limited one. But all that I want is to understand that we have this criteria, we have this which is encouraged by the US government. Why don't we try to see that whether it can be benefited? Adu mattum da intention over here today. So idhula pathina, what is EB5 na? It's one of the investment programs that the US government. So idhula innonu irukku, E2 visa nu irukku. For that E2 visa, the Indian nationals are not eligible. So EB5 la mattum na they qualify for the Indians qualify for the investment program. So there are two types of an EB5 category which is available. So as long as anyone is interested to invest in any of the businesses in US la போய் ஏதாவது ஒரு business பத்தி அவங்க invest பண்றாங்கன்னா, then the government says that after you invest and then you meet the criteria, you are eligible. You are eligible to get your green card. So this is the base for an EB5 visa. So is there any education requirement for the EB5 filing? Absolutely, there's no education requirement. So now other visas la pathona, H1Bs la pathona, the education is one of the mandatory criteria. You have to qualify for the specialty occupation criteria. But for the EB5 visa, all that matters is what is the investment that you are going to do. That's the only criteria that's needed. Yeah. So how to apply for the EB5 and what is the cost involved in the process? So the cost part, it's not about, it's only an investment. If you invest pandringlo, that return will be happening to you in 4 to 5 years time period. So which is going to be closer to 4 crores. Other than minimum actually. It depends on 4 to 5 crores is the investment that you're going to do. It's not the cost that is going to be for the green card. நிறைய பேருக்கு என்னன்னா இவ்வளோ பே பண்ணி அந்த green card வாங்குற மாதிரி, that's not the right interpretation. So it is only the investment that you're going to do it where the US government specify. இதில் இன்னொன்று என்னன்னா, you are very safe and very secure. Your investment is going to be very safe and secure wherever it's going to be invested. Because you go through the process with the government, US government, directly. So, the approval. So, they have very, very, very stringent criteria where it has to qualify, the investment has to qualify for you to get to do the the program actually. So on the 4 to 5 crores is the time, depending on what it is, the பண்ணிட்டு after 4 or 5 years, once you get the green card, then that will be returned along with whatever the interest rate. So we're building some kind of a buildings of a mall or somewhere it's going to be getting invested. No? Depending on whatever the returns that adla varada vechittu, that also will be distributed actually. So that is the part of the investment that's going to be happening actually. Yeah, and that's one of the questions I said. How do you know if that, how do I know if the investment is safer and secure? So that is something that, as we are also involved in this. So it was between the US government, the investor and our law firm. So we all three are involved in it. So we will, it's definitely your due diligence that it has to be there. என்ன மாதிரி இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட், என்ன மாதிரி ரிட்டர்ன்ஸ் வருது, அது எல்லாத்தையுமே நீங்கள் தான் ஃபைனலைஸ் பண்ணி பார்க்கணும். But at the same time, as we are also involved, as much as possible, we just guide you, like இது எவ்வளோ தூரத்துக்கு உங்களுக்கு சேஃபராக இருக்கும், அந்த அளவுக்கு we can just guide you on that. So these are all very detailed into that, like எவ்வளோ நாள் அது எடுக்கும், 4 years கிட்ட எடுக்கும், அது ஃபைனல் க்ரீன் கார்டு வர்றதுக்கு முதல்ல பண்ணும்போது இருக்கும். So mostly, like as I was talking as well, discussing, might not be, like for most of you looks like, your, if at all your children or someone of you are interested in the later part of your, like after retirement or closer to that, if you think about it, like when the naga poichu, even we want our children to be benefited by that. அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறவங்களுக்கு it's a good option. That's where like we are looking at most of them people who are settled down in Dubai or somewhere. அவங்களுக்கு they don't want to come back to India at the same time. அங்கேயும் ரொம்ப நாள் அவங்களால இருக்க முடியாது. So அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறவங்க they are thinking through it and they want to see that probably where they want to settle their retirement or their children to educate themselves. ஏன்னா இப்போ ரெகுலர் ப்ராசஸில் போகும்போது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அந்த க்ரீன் கார்டுக்கு if they go on a student visa, யாராவது உங்களோட பசங்க if they are going to, your children are going to be on a student visa, then in that case it's going to take at least 90 years for them to get a green card. So அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறவங்களுக்கு if you're ready to invest for it and then see that US is a choice or an option, அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறவங்களுக்கு it might be beneficial, but definitely it's not for everyone because you're all having your own lifestyle and settle down here and nobody is really, even if you want to do that, ஒரு 6 மாசம் போயிட்டு இருந்து பார்த்துட்டு ஒரு 2 மாசம் இருந்துட்டு வந்தா எங்கள் அப்பாவும் அம்மாவையும் I can't make them to come more than 3 weeks. அவங்க என்னதான் நாங்கள் கூப்பிட்டாலும் 3 பேரும் இருக்கோம், நான் என்னோட தங்கச்சி இருக்கோம், தம்பி மட்டும்தான் இங்கே இருக்காப்புல, பட் அவங்க வரமாட்டாங்க. லைக் நாங்கள் நீங்கள் EB-5 கையில் கொடுத்தா கூட வர்றதுக்கு ரெடியாக இல்லை. So it's not for everyone. I know that, and this might not be something of your choice, but my intention, as I said, was it's only to create an awareness. Like you say, always I say that நிறைய அந்த Tamil organizations, I'm very involved in that, and so one thing I always tell them is, why not? எங்களோட clients பார்த்தீங்கன்னா we work with at least 200 companies now. So I would say 190 companies are run by people other than non-Tamilians actually. Why not our people can be an entrepreneur over there? எல்லாருக்கும் இருக்கிற opportunity தான் அங்க எல்லாருக்குமே கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Why not we explore it? It's very a land of opportunity. So அப்படி இருக்கும்போது அந்த ஒரு awareness, I want to let you know this is all possible. Why don't you explore or try to see at least? நிறைய details இருக்கு, நிறைய இதுல பேச வேண்டியது இருக்கு. So there are people who just show interest, and எனக்கு மாசத்துக்கு ஒரு தடவை there will be calls which we arrange it on a Zoom and then they talk about it. But என்ன ரிஸ்க் எடுக்கணும்னு வரும்போது our people are not that great of an entrepreneurs. நான் அதை சொல்லிட்டே தான் இருப்பேன் நான். Our Tamil people has to know that நம்ம இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் பண்ணணும், we have to move forward அப்படின்ற மாதிரி. So if at all you want to know or let me know, just definitely we'll be able to just help you. அவங்க 2 பேரும் Minu is there, she works for us, and then Karthika is there. So, even we can provide more details about what it is and everything. So, in depth, in a personalized பண்ணும்போது தான் you'll know what is the benefits, நம்மளால பண்ண முடியுமா, என்ன ஆப்ஷன்ஸ் இருக்கு அப்படிங்கறத வந்து எக்ஸ்ப்ளோர் பண்ண முடியும் actually. Yeah, I think this is all about EB-5 visa. ஏதாவது questions இருந்தா I can quickly address it if at all you have anything. And we do other visas as well in our office and firm, which is of a regular, other visas that is all eligible and everything.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Sure.
How is the economic conditions in the US now? Is it the right time to the investments there in the US?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I would say because it's going to be a very long process. The real estate was booming up in 2020 and 21 and 22. Definitely it's slowing out with the interest rates and everything. So there are multiple investment that can happen. It doesn't have to limit to real estate alone, but real estate is one of the favorite of the EB-5 visas. ஒரு பெரிய கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன்ஸ் அவங்க பண்ணும்போது they can easily accommodate ஒரு 4 EB-5. இப்போ கூட எங்களோட எல்லா EB-5 பார்த்தோம்னா it's all run by Andhra Pradesh. அவங்க தான் அந்த இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் எடுத்து பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. I'm not biased, I'll tell them also in face. Okay, நீங்க எங்க இருந்தா வரீங்க இவ்வளோ தூரத்துக்கு. They are very good entrepreneurs actually. So அதனால it's going to be a long-term plan. So if at all, if you have the choice, there is so many options that's available and people and companies who are running through. And as I said, the government is making sure it's directly from the USCIS, which is the US Department of Homeland Security. அவங்களோடது பண்றதால so much of it, and also source of funding is very important actually. So நம்ம எங்க இருந்து வரோம், even if you are going to be sponsoring for your children, it should be a proper way of gifting them actually. So இது எல்லாமே பார்த்து ரொம்ப டீடைலா அவங்க பண்றதால you can be assured there is some security of your funds that is involved அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி.
And you, as you said, you do the due diligence.
Yeah, sure.
In your office.
In our office, we can guide to a level of it. Definitely, the responsibility goes to the individual. We guide it and then we tell them, this is what it is. But again, as we are working long term, we can understand, right? This is something that will be beneficial for you. Under the guidance, we can provide it actually.
And different states, there are different laws. So do we have any tax benefits on any specific state, or do you recommend any specific states for a manufacturing setup?
Yeah, right. So definitely there is a lot more of it, but Texas, Florida, and all those states doesn't have the state taxation for the individual earning actually. But in that is definitely depends on what business you are going to be involved in, and then what is the benefits in some of the to encourage the local manufacturing. The government provides quartz manufacturing. My brother-in-law was doing quartz manufacturing plant, which didn't go very well. The reason being, the local labor is very tough over there. Anga romba avangala run panna mudiyala. But otherwise, some of my other clients who was running a quartz factory in Andhra Pradesh, and then they are exporting to US, were able to do that. And the quartz manufacturing capacity, there was so much of benefits. The US government was giving it to the loans and the small business benefits and actually. So depending on that, definitely there is a lot more of work to be done. But there are people who can be involved to guide and provide you that proper guidance and advice on that.
Okay. So this EB-5 visa, can we take our own skilled laborers there to the US?
No. It should be a local, 10 of them has to be sponsored actually. So the promise of the EB-5 is in a year you have to create 10 new employment. So, but that should definitely be a local citizens or the green card holders. Not, any other visas cannot be done.
There can be an unskilled labor also, right?
Yeah, the unskilled labor in that local, in US should be there. But you can't be, a person who needs a visa to come over there.
No, what I meant is can we take somebody from Thoothukudi as a skilled labor or a manager to shift there?
No, that's what I said. Because
to run the company there.
Because they need a visa, right? Some kind of a visa is needed.
EB-5 visa.
Oh, EB-5 visa. Okay, so EB-5 visa can be done by anyone, but you have to substantiate why you are doing it for this individual. See, if it's you're sponsoring your your children, it makes it easier as a parents for providing the funding for that. If you're sponsoring a non-family, then all that matters is it doesn't matter for them, but you have to do it through a proper like how it is and what is the reasoning for that. You can do that, definitely you can do that. But எதனால நீங்க பண்றீங்க அப்படின்ற questionக்கு வந்து we have to be very detailed in the way that why it has to be done actually. But it is doable.
Thank you.
So, what are the current investment from India? Like, what are the popular ones? Like recently, current investments from you said Andhra Pradesh is one of the biggest investors. So, what are they investing into? Real estate. Other than that, is there
Any other
like
options?
any other options?
Actually, so there is, it's a different category actually. Innonu vandu L1A, I'm not sure if you're familiar with L1 business. Say for example, you have a manufacturing, some kind of a unit over here, or anything over here, and then you want to start a new business in US and try it out. That's a different, that is little different of a visa, which is called L1A actually. So which is very simple when compared to the EB5, because EB5 you are looking for someone who's already doing a business, because they classify as a regional and non-regional centers, and which has to get approved of from USCIS. But இங்கிருந்து நீங்க வந்து ஒரு business இங்க run பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க, which you feel that see there are people who we are helping with the recent after COVID, even the health foods, right? Whatever has been done over here, for example, they want to just do it, try it over here in US. அவங்களுக்கு வந்து that's a different kind of a visa called L1 visa actually, which is an inter-company. Like இங்க வந்து நீங்க ஒரு 2 years successfully you're running your business, and then you feel like, okay, let me start a business over there. You can do that with an L1 visa actually. So இது வந்து நிறைய இருக்கு. They have a diversity of business out there actually for the EB5. I'm not specifically saying it's only real estate. I'm just giving an example of a real estate. There are multiple things EB5 are able to do it through them actually. When you go in depth, once you choose it, then it is. But இப்போ இங்க வந்து ஒரு 2 or 3 years, if you're running a business already successfully, and then you want to just start with it, then there is a different visa which can be done very simply. It's very simple, I will say.
Is there an investment slab for that too, for the L1?
No, there's no investment, but all that they want to do is the new business can be done very easily. Because I'm helping, he's a neighbor from my place in Chennai actually. He's a dentist. He has like 4 other, dental clinic over here. So what he's trying to do is, it's going to be very tough to take his license, medical license over there. So that's not his possibility. It's very, very hard. Like even taking my bar was not that easy actually. I have to go through a lot more of, the process is very, very detailed over there. So adhanala all that he's doing is he is hiring a local doctor over there. Anga or dentist hire பண்றாரு. All that we are trying to help him out is to establish his new business called Wells Dental Care over there. He will be a managing director over there, whereas he's going to hire a dentist over there. So on the mother, it's not that tough. But again, that as well involves development of the business. Or 1 year they are providing the visa. Within the 1 year, he has to develop his clinic over there, and he has to prove there is a growth over there. So adha L1. So that might be a right choice for people. Inge business பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கிறவங்களுக்கு வந்து that might be a right choice. We got right back. Okay, thank you so much. I really, I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to connect with you. Thank you.
Moreover, what are the helps you can do during the time of emergency for the people, those who are sitting at Thoothukudi or Tamil Nadu? So, if at all you can give some of the feedback to the people, how far you can help them in the emergency cases?
So, it's a little different actually. I'm also associated with a team called Reaction Team, an organization, which is a voluntary organization actually. See, unfortunately or fortunately, sometimes we face the romba nariya, even in the month of December, 40 years, 42 years, அந்த மாதிரியெல்லாம் நிறைய டெத். இட்ஸ் நாட் கோவிட்னால இல்லை, இன்னும் ஃபார் அதர் கார்டியாக் அரெஸ்ட் அந்த மாதிரியெல்லாம் நிறைய இன்சிடென்ட்ஸ் இருக்கும்போது I am associated with a team called the reaction team and our organization actually. So that is a very different, that is my heart and involvement in that team actually. Adila vandu we provide a lot more of support. Epdina inge vandu at least we have people around you. That's the blessings of our nation actually. Adila vandu nammala yarume idu panave mudiyadhu. So anga pathina even for death that happened, naanga madhyanam poirken, அவங்களுக்கு எனக்கும் ரொம்ப தெரியாது. அவர் திடீர்னு தான் காலையில் ஒரு மீட்டிங்க்கு போனார், அவர் இறந்துட்டாரு அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. அந்த வீட்டுக்கும் கொண்டு வர மாட்டாங்க, ஃபியூனரல் ஹோம்க்கு கொண்டு போயிடுவாங்க டைரெக்டாக. அவங்க ஒய்ஃபும் மட்டும்தான் இருக்காங்க, நான் அந்த கூட போகிற ஒருத்தவங்களும். we were there நைட் வரைக்கும். அவங்க பையன் காலேஜ்லேருந்து வரான், அங்கே நல்லா ஃபுல் ஸ்னோ அன்னைக்கு நைட்டு. பட் நாட் மெனி ஆர் ஏபிள் டு ஹெல்ப் தெம் அவுட். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி சூழ்நிலையில் வந்து ஒன்லி பீப்புள் லைக் வந்து who are involved with this organizations and everything, அவங்கள கூப்பிட்டு இவங்களுக்கு எப்படி பண்ணுறது, ஈவன் அந்த அந்த வீக்கே ஃபியூனரல் பண்ணும்போது கூட ஈவன் கம்மிங் ஃப்ரம் இந்த ஃபுட் அரேஞ்ச்மெண்ட்லேருந்து அன்றைக்கி ஃபியூனரல் எடுக்கிறாங்க, அன்றைக்கி கூட அந்த கொஞ்சம் பேர் இந்த வாலண்டியர்ஸ் தான் சப்போர்ட் பண்ணி எனக்கு பண்ணாங்க. இட் பிகம்ஸ் வெரி பேத்தட்டிக் when you look into it. எவ்வளோ தூரம் நாங்கள் however sophisticated life we live and then we just enjoy na kuda end of the day when something happens it's very critical. இங்கே இருக்கிற சப்போர்ட் சிஸ்டம் எங்களுக்கு கிடையாது. இங்கே நீங்கள் ஒரு டெத்துனா நீங்கள் யாருமே சொல்ல வேண்டாம், தெரிஞ்சவங்களே இருக்க வேண்டாம். ஆனால் அங்கே வந்து வாட் எவர். பட் நவ் ஆஃப்டர் கோவிட் தெர் இஸ் மோர் ஆஃப் அவேர்னஸ் ஆக்சுவலாக. இல்லைன்னா ஃபோன் பண்ணி ஏதாவது ஹெல்ப்னா எங்களுக்கு கால் பண்ணுங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. டெத்து வீட்டில் எப்படி ஹெல்ப்னா காலாக பண்ணுவாங்க. பீப்புள் ஹேவ் டு வாலண்டியர். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி தான் நிறைய ஐ மை செல்ஃப் அதில் தான் எனக்கு வந்து அந்த President's Award கொடுத்தாங்க last year because I didn't expect it or anything but it happened. So 560 hours of support system. நிறைய legal work தேவைப்படுது. அவங்களால என்ன பண்ணுறதுன்னு தெரியாது, அந்த பாடி இங்கே கொண்டு வரதுக்கு என்ன ப்ராசஸ்ன்னு தெரியாது, ஒய்ஃபுக்கு வந்து பேங்க் அக்கௌண்ட் எங்கே இருக்குது என்ன இருக்குன்னு தெரியாது. Still men follow the traditional the way that whoever they are. அப்படி இருக்கும்போது அவங்களுக்கு எதுவுமே தெரியாது. ஸோ அவங்கள மென்டலி ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணி லீகலாக சப்போர்ட் சிஸ்டம் கொடுத்து நிறைய பண்ண முடிஞ்சது. ஐம் வெரி கிரேட்ஃபுல் ஃபார் வாட் எவர் ஹேஸ் பீன் டன் இன் த லாஸ்ட் 2-3 years. அதில் தான் நம்ம தமிழ் சங்கம்ல எல்லாத்துலேயுமே இன்வால்வ் பண்ணி எனிதிங்னா அவங்க உடனே கால் பண்ணுவாங்க. வெதர் இட்ஸ் டே ஆர் நைட் we were able to support it எனி டைம். நீங்கள் யாருக்காக ஏதாவது தேவை இருந்தாலும், வீசா இருந்தாலும், கொஸ்டின்ஸ் இருந்தாலும் டெஃபினட்டாக we are there to help. லைக் என்கிட்ட பேசும்போது கூட நிறைய பேர் சொல்லுவாங்க, என்னன்னா இவ்வளோ சிம்பிளாக பக்கத்து வீட்டு பொண்ணுக்கிட்ட பேசுகிற மாதிரி பேச முடிஞ்சுது அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தேன். ஸோ we are there. டெஃபினட்டாக வந்து நான் ஐ ஃபீல் லைக் இன்னொரு இடத்துல இருக்கும். அப்படி இருக்கும்போது நம்மளால் என்ன பண்ண முடியுமோ அதை கண்டிப்பாக பண்ணணும் எங்கே இருந்தாலும் அப்படிங்கிறதுனால we are just doing it. அப்படியே thank you so much. As I said, thank you for the opportunity.
Anybody, any questions, please? Yeah, if you don't have any questions, thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and coming here. It was very informative, and hope our members will be benefited. And sure, we have a lot of questions. I would request you to share your contact details with our chamber so that we can keep in touch for future events. Thank you, members. Thank you all for coming here, and thank you all. Thank you. Please raise for national.
Thank you. பேசுங்க போங்க. நம்ம